So, Greg, we were just talking recently about, all the violations. The OSHA comes out with the top violations. And I know you mentioned some of them could be bad because they could lead to death. So you brought some props here. You're going to show us how to avoid that. And please have at it because, whatever you can tell these folks about, I'm sure you're going to appreciate this.
Thanks, Randy. So just a quick example, a fall harness. So we talked about the top 10 violations every year. And in those top 10, fall protection. And then the type of fines that you get as a business owner or a person working on site. And fall protection also is always in the top 5 reasons people die at work. So this is a fall protection harness from one of my favorites. This is the one that I actually wear when I work. Brand new, just got it. So it's not properly adjusted for me today, but French Creek Fall Protection right up in Franklin, PA makes a great product. And I always tell everybody, listen, simple's better. All right. Some of the fall protection gear has big padding on it, and they sell different levels if you like that stuff, but I don't because it gets hotter. The more stuff you have on, the hotter this stuff gets in the summer. In the winter, it's harder to deal with the extra padding on some of the padded ones. So just getting the right gear for your employees, what the guys like, is sometimes 90% of the battle.
Is it good just to talk to the guys a little bit while you're thinking about doing it?
Okay, here's a couple options. You don't want to get carried away because it'd be a pain in the butt. There's a million options out there.
No,
right?
Understood.
But love this harness. It's simple, straightforward, great harness to use. What I did do is bring in another similar harness.
You brought in a whole bunch of goodies.
Yeah, this one's a Miller harness, and an older one that's not allowed to be used out in the field, but for demonstration on how to put the harness on right, this is great. But here's some of that extra padding I was talking about.
Okay.
This tends to get really hot in the summer. You got it on, it's like it's hot enough, right? And you're worried about heat stress and everything like that. So just paying attention. Some guys love it because it's a little bit more comfortable with the sun. So it's a personal preference sometimes, and that's half the battle with PPE and gear like this. So what I like to do with this one, though, because there's a few more adjustments on here I can show quicker than that one, is how to put a harness on. So everybody's like, I see fines all the time. Guys are not wearing them right. They're not adjusted right. I'm like, seriously? This isn't hard, guys. To put this on, I thought I would just kind of do it while we were chatting so I could show everybody. So the first thing you always do is make sure it's all oriented properly. And you put it on, you put your harness on just like a coat, one arm at a time. So I'm gonna put my right arm in, I'm gonna reach back with my left arm, and sometimes it gets twisted. You wanna make sure you have no twists in your straps coming over. And then what you're supposed to do next is take your chest strap here and buckle it. And you buckle that thing, and you make sure that your strap's sitting good across your shoulders.
Yep.
And this is where a lot of people forget. You're supposed to unbuckle it again, so this is easier to get into. The last buckle you put back on should be this one.
Okay.
It's kind of like a fireman when they put on their turnout coat. There's only one way to do it, and you do it that way. There's no options.
Okay.
And that's the way this should be. So the next process is to get your leg straps, okay? And these ones are all, this harness has been arrested, so someone has fallen in this and taken a full hit. So they're twisted a little bit, so I always want to make sure these aren't twisted, 1, for comfort, and 2, for proper fit. So this is a pain in the butt if you've ever put a harness on, right?
Well, pain in the butt and the thigh and whatever else is
you got it,
there.
So the right way to do it is step forward like you're going to do a lunge.
Okay.
And you put your harness down underneath and you pull it up between your legs like that. And it actually helps seat it better.
That looks real easy, actually.
So it's not as uncomfortable as most. And these harnesses are not fun to wear. If you work in one, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So then you do your other leg. So you take this strap over here. You would also unwind it. I always like to do the old, make sure there's no twist for comfort, and you lunge forward. All right. And you come back up and you snap your buckle. It just makes it easier too. And the older you get, that's an easier process than trying to bend down here and reach everything, right? So
it's almost like doing an exercise. Just remember, boom, lunge,
you got it.
Lunge. I mean, that's it.
We could do some kind of workout video next time we're together.
Hey, you're going to get in shape. Not only be safe, you're going to stay in shape as well, huh?
Heck yeah, man. So then you take your chest strap, and you put it on, and you make sure you basically, the rule that's easy to remember here to where this thing goes, because what would happen if I'm wearing this wrong and I have it up here? And I fall and it arrests me. And you're right. I kill myself in my harness because I'm going to get hung. And I've seen this. There's been fatalities from that. Or if I like it down here because it's more comfortable below my chest. All right. This is called your chest strap. So if it's down here and I fall forward, this thing can flip open and I fall out of my harness.
Okay.
And complete the fall. So why would
that's so it's got to be in the right spot.
Right. So what they always tell you, and I had an old instructor back in the day, I'll never forget, nipple to nipple. Doesn't matter. Something easy, you're like, and I'm good. And now you know when this thing, it's going to give you room when you take the suspension, or if you fall, and it's not going to let you flip out head first.
Gotcha.
So just little things like that. Doing a quick demonstration like we just did here, but doing it on a tailgate safety talk or in the parking lot before the project starts to just give the guys a reminder. And of course, before you ever put a harness on to use it, the guy wearing it or the girl wearing it has to inspect it. and they should be trained on that, what they need to look for before.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, how long did that take us? Just a few minutes sitting here BSing and going over.
Pretty simple, and we got a little exercise routine.
Yeah.
And
you know, workout in, right? Get the heart rate.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a couple things you always say. And you said, well, you know, keep it simple is one thing. And I love you've also said gravity always wins.
100%.
And, you know, that's like two easy things to remember to keep yourself and your crews in good shape. And Greg, thank you very much. I mean, I knew nothing about this, and now I do, and I feel like I could put one of these things
Awesome,
on.
man.
Glad
I could show a little bit of a demo. There's a little more that goes into it, but that was just a quick one to let people see the beginning, right?
Well, thanks again. Hey, thanks for joining us. And remember, you can visit safetyintegration.com and always get more great information like that. That's safetyintegration.com.